guess what's coming? You guessed right. Reavers football is back. And what's the word from the KJCCC Free Lunch Friday? The Iowa Western men's soccer season is alive and kicking. Hey, the women kicking into gear as well. What's the word from the new guy? Hey, word. The volleyball team ready for another killer season.
Hi, my name is Alicia Williams, head volleyball coach at Iowa Western, and the Bluffs Sports Zone starts right now.
Hello, I'm JJ Davis, and welcome to the latest edition of the Bluffs Sports Zone. Well, time flies while we're having fun. The 2015 Iowa Western football season is here, and it kicks off with Free Lunch Friday, or commonly known as the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference Media Day. Now, food is served at the Wichita campus of Newman University, and here with all the eats is IWTV student Cole McAfee.
Last time we saw head coach Scott Strohmeyer, East Mississippi, the Reavers, come up empty-handed. But it's a new season, and Iowa Western looks as ready as ever. Coach Stroh addresses the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference on what he and his team can do this year.
I'm telling you, 11 straight weeks. It was a battle. I know some coach, I think Tim just said, like the SEC of junior college. I'll tell you what, I feel that way. Like I said, going 11 straight weeks with the opponents that we have and the coaches that we have. The Rivals 100 came out. 1/4 of the top 100 are in this room. And that's pretty amazing. Of the top junior college players, I think there's 27 total that are within this room or on these teams. We have 11, probably 12 guys that have started in some capacity. Taj Williams, who's probably one of the top wide receivers in the country, had 77 catches, just under 1,000 yards, is returning for us. Max Stewart, who started 12 games at offensive guard. Malik Johnson is another offensive guard who started half the season for us. Defensively, Merrick Jackson, who is actually defensive tackle, he's committed to the University of Illinois. Stacy Keeley's a defensive end who, big 6'7", 230-pound kid out of Omaha, Nebraska. Secondary is probably one of our strengths. Is Jamie Thompson, who's a transfer from Ohio State, starts at safety. Just like everybody, you don't know what you have until you get there. I think one of the things that we kind of hang our hat on is our guys are going to play hard. They're going to play within the system. We may not be the most talented across the board, and I don't think we maybe were last year. But I think our guys played extremely hard and played well within our system, and that's a credit to my staff and the kids buying into it.
So, this season, Coach Stroh will head out onto the field with a record-breaking quarterback, JUCO's best wide receiver, a defensive tackle already committed to the Big Ten, and a safety from Ohio State. The coaches are ready. The players are ready. Everyone is marking their calendars for August 29th when Iowa Western kicks off the 2015 season at Coffeyville. For the Bluffs Sports Zone, I'm Cole McAfee.
Thanks, Cole. The other football season set to kick off as well. Ladies first, but up next, more from Free Lunch Friday. The other guys take a bite when we come back.
At Council Plus Savings Bank, you still get personalized customer service.
We have identity-safe checking with LifeLock, identity theft protection.
You get personal mortgage lending to fit your needs now and in the future.
You get business banking with the latest technology because saving you time saves you money. At Council of Savings Bank, you get people who answer when you call and local employees who are actively involved in our community. Council of Savings Bank, hometown banking the way it used to be.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore, and frustration a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy and giving up impossible. I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought and unconventional methods common. I'm a teacher. I make more.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
This portion of the Bluffs Sports Zone brought to you by Cutler O'Neill, Meyer Woodring, family-owned funeral home, serving Council Bluffs in southwest Iowa for over 100 years.
First year in the Jayhawk Conference, and the Reavers here on offense just run the table, undefeated. So what about 2015? And what are some of the other coaches' impressions of the Iowa Western football machine? I mean, a lot of big games on the road this year. So once again, let's check in with IDUB TV student Cole, eating everything in sight, McAfee.
It's been 1 year since the Iowa Community College Athletic Conference teams traveled down south to play against the Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference. Iowa Western went undefeated in both leagues, showing the KJCCC how tough playing the Reavers can be. Here's what some of the coaches have to say about facing Iowa Western.
I really think that this Iowa alliance that we have is awesome.
So it really is like the SEC. There's just no time to catch your breath. You got to bring your A game. You got to be prepared and got to have your kids prepared.
You have to be ready to go every week, and there are a lot of good teams. That's all there is to it. And you know, the days of 70-7 and that type of spreads is over.
As you look through the top JUCO 100 players, it's just scattered with Jayhawk Conference and of course Iowa schools as well. And we know every time you go out there on that field, you're playing a team that can get you.
I really believe that a big part of keeping it going is sitting right back here. You heard from him a minute ago, and Scott Strohmeyer. I mean, Coach Strohmeyer is not only a phenomenal football coach, and his record speaks for itself, but he truly cares about college football, junior college football. He's been the head coach at a couple of schools. He's the president of the NJCAA Coaches Association. He comes down to Hutch or to El Dorado or to Wichita or to Newton. Every time we have a meeting, Coach Strohmeyer makes a point to make it to the meeting.
The Reavers have some tough competition to face this year. For the record, Hutchinson is favored to win the league, followed by Coffeyville and Butler. Iowa Western is not eligible to be in the conference rankings. For the Bluffs Sports Zone, I'm Cole McAfee.
Thanks, Cole. So others in the KJCCC have taken notice. And you know, you can't tell me that the other coaches would love nothing better than to knock off the Iowa Western football juggernaut. The Reavers better be ready. Iowa Western runs the gauntlet right out of the gate. At Coffeyville, at Old Friend Butler, home against Highland, at Boot Hill and Dodge City, at Ellsworth for the first 5 games on the road. And I think it's safe to say that Coach Stroh will know sooner rather than later what kind of team he has. Now for the last 6, at Lewis Central, Garden City, Independence, at DuPage, a tough one at Hutch. Now the Reavers close it out looking to take the fort at LC and finishing at home with the annual fight for the Kinney Cup. 5 at home, 6 on the road. More on the Iowa Western football team as the new beginning approaches. Now, what about the volleyball team? So close last year, so close. Same deal for the Iowa Western men's soccer team. After the break.
For more than a quarter century, thousands of Southwest Iowa athletes have relied on this team, Jenny Ed SportsMed. Their sole focus is to prevent, diagnose, and treat your sports injury. They even partner with the surgeons at Ortho West, ensuring you get your own exclusive roadmap back to action. Methodist Jenny Ed SportsMed invites all Southwest Iowa athletes to its free walk-in clinic, open every Saturday morning, August through October. Jenny Ed SportsMed.
Get your ass. You're not sitting here. Yes, I am. Move. Give it to him hard.
No.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Why you stabbing me with it? No.
They want to help,
Ow.
but don't know how. Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Your future is here at CBTV. You're in the game. You take the shots. It's your story. The Media Studies program at Iowa Western. Real reality TV starring you. For more information, go to iwcc.edu. When it comes to the Iowa Western men's soccer team, it's like a broken record. The Reavers are good, real good. So, why would this year be any different? Well, for my money, it's not. Piling up the wins, posting impressive shutouts, and another trip to nationals. The usual great expectations. Yes, same old, same old. It's a program that's won 48 out of 50 games in the last 2 years alone. It's a machine that can not only score, but has recorded 35 shutouts during that time. In 2015, well, just 3 starters are back, a total of 6 sophomores, and easily over a dozen freshmen.
We have a lot of freshmen coming in who we're very excited about. I mean, that's where, you know, if they come in and they prove to be as good as what we thought they were in the recruiting process, we're going to be a very solid, strong team. This year we recruited a lot more offensive players, and that's where we're hoping that, you know, it may pay off from our 2014 loss in the semifinals. We're replacing 2 All-American center backs and an All-American left back.
What's hurting us as well is you two. And the last little bit, I think it was just a combination of lazy play.
I used to always say we change our system based on the players, but I think the last 2 years we've really sort of stuck to a system of play, and so we were really trying to, I mean, obviously we've been successful with the system, so we're trying to fit kids to the system. 2013 we led the nation in goals, and we also had the fewest goals conceded and the most shutouts. And in 2 years we've led the nation in shutouts, and we've been in the top 5 in the last 2 years in goals. So the way I look at it is we can do a little bit of both. It'd be bad of me to say that my expectations really haven't changed over the last 3 years, but at the same time, I think my expectations are a little bit different this year. I think this year, my expectation is, as a team, we hold ourselves even to a little bit higher standard in our academics. We really push ourselves so that we can, really achieve things beyond just soccer. And then obviously with the soccer side of things, we have to do a better job of being a fit team. I would say 2 years in a row, and especially with first and third place finish, I would say that's a bust if we don't get there in regards to the soccer aspect. But you know, in regards to if we win with dignity, can we lose with dignity? So, you know, hopefully whether we get a first or a third place finish, hopefully we finish the other things well.
It's a program that's very well off. A national title here 2 years ago, the Final Four in 2014. The future, once again, now for the next Iowa Western men's soccer team as the Reavers juggernaut rolls on. Carver and Company set to roll into the regular season. 9 home matches this year, starting with the annual Iowa Western Tournament August 21st and 23rd. Then it's hit the road time for a couple of tourneys and 4 other matches. Back on the home pitch against nemesis Marshalltown on September 19th, followed by Scott. 4 straight home cooked meals beginning with Indian Hills October 3rd. And the Reavers close out the regular season at Iowa Western with the sophomore day game against I-Central. And then there's the ladies. There's a new sheriff in town, and he well understands what he's gotten himself into. And you know what? Former College of Southern Maryland head coach Adam Sanchez wouldn't have it any other way. Talk about a tough act to follow. The 2014 Reavers score 116 goals and give up just 6. The reigning national champs make it back to the title game and lose a heartbreaker on a penalty kick in overtime. Now, Iowa Western returns 8 players from a year ago. 9+ incoming freshmen join the mix. And also the ball is now in a new coach's hands.
The talent excites me the most. Working with high-level players. Brad did a great job recruiting, bringing in the best local talent that was available, but also from different parts of the country. So that the returning players that we have coming back are absolutely fantastic, both on and off the field. The standard of play is high, but also with their academics. We want to be an attacking-minded team. We want to go after our opponents. We want to prove that we're the best, and we want to outwork teams, both offensively and defensively. It's not too much in the formations or the systems, but the players, I think, define the game and win matches for them. It's very much a collaboration between me and the players, and really I want them to succeed. And anything I can do to help them perform on the field and off the field, I'm going to do it. And the players buy into my system because they know how much I care about them. My teams are noted for playing hard, being physically fit, and just outworking the other teams. We're pretty organized defensively, and then going forward, we're very dynamic, and we can score in different areas of the field. I was really nervous coming in, but the girls, they're absolutely fantastic. First off, they're ultra competitive, and they want to win, and they want to be successful, and they want to build the tradition. They want to write their own chapter into Reaver women's soccer. And so when I got here, they were all on board. They said, hey, this is our new coach. We're with you. And when you've got players that buy in like that, then you don't have an excuse. My expectations is for us to compete in every single match. We've got a very difficult schedule, and I'm not going to guarantee any wins or how many losses, but my expectations are for us to maintain that same standard that we had last year and make a run at nationals. There's always pressure, and that was one of the biggest negatives coming here, but I want that pressure. I want those expectations to test myself. I've gotten to this point in my career because that's what I'm good at. I'm a good soccer coach, and the players that play for me love to play for me, and I'm excited just to work with them and focus in on that, and then slowly keep getting better and better throughout the season.
Seasons come and seasons go, but nothing changes for the Iowa Western women's soccer program. New coach, same old story. It's called winning. And it starts at home anyway against perennial power Otero August 28th. 2 days later, Johnson County. 3 straight on the home pitch, beginning with another tough one with Navarro. The Hills and the Lakes come to town October 3rd and 6th, and then a club from Utah, and then mighty Monroe, followed by the home closer against the Tritons. Not a bad schedule for the new guy in his first go-round. Up next, our play of the week. Anybody's guess. Hey, guess who's looking good once again? Yeah, no surprise. On the other side.
The Mid-America Center is the Heartland's premier entertainment and convention center. September 27th, jam with Papa Roach and headliner Five Finger Death Punch. Over at the Convention Center, July 10th and 11th, British Fest comes to town. Then July 20th through the 26th, see the Nebraska Regional Bridge Tournament. And August 8th and 9th, it's the Spirit of Courage Celebrity Weekend. Remember, the MAC offers free parking for all events. Tickets, information, and more at midamericacenter.com.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust. With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
Ever wonder what makes us, the Smurfs, so happy? The forest, of course. This is where we, along with the beautiful forest creatures, make our home with beautiful plant life, clean water, and endless adventures. It's a place to celebrate. So discover the forest with your family today. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
I really thought the Iowa Western volleyball team was going to win it all last year. One match, one stinking match, and that was the name of that tune. So, what's it going to be this time around? I mean, it's not like we don't have any idea. The Reavers, ranked #1 heading into the postseason potade last year, are always good. It's that simple. The 2014 JUCO National Volleyball Tournament. All-American Allie Dawson and the top-ranked Reavers smashed their way to a 5th-place finish. Iowa Western finishes with a school record 45 wins and just 2 losses.
We have 10 incoming freshmen and 5 returners, so I mean, it's going to be a lot different of a team, so I don't really know what to expect. The sophomores who were freshmen last year, they knew that the weight was going to be carried by those All-Americans. So when they weren't playing well, the whole team wasn't playing well. And so I think what a great thing about this year is that we're going to have a lot of parity. I think we're across the board going to be just really solid. Last year, I'm not saying we didn't work hard, I thought we worked really hard, but I think that we had a lot more competitive individuals. And I think that this year we're going to have more of, I got my sister's back kind of players. So I think that this team is going to be playing for each other more than for themselves.
The setters in the front row.
Our system will change. We'll still run the same offense, but our setter will not attack as many balls. So she's not going to be dumping or hitting or attacking at all, whereas Nicole would, she would attack, 1 to 2 times every set. Larissa might only attack once or twice in the match. I just think that it's going to be a completely different atmosphere, 360 from last year's team. So that makes it hard for me because I have to change my coaching style a little bit too to make sure that I'm still motivating and pushing a whole different mindset. This will be my first full year where it's all my recruits. So this is a big year for me individually as a coach, which I had a conversation with Brenda the other day, and she was like, "Hey, this is the one where we figure out what kind of coach you are." So a lot of pressure, bringing in a lot of freshmen. So we're going to be really young, but I think that we're going to do well. I don't think I've set that bar yet because it hasn't been my true full roster. So I think this will be that year where I really set my own standards and own goals. I took this from Mark Reardon, baseball coach. You know, the power of will, the will to win, is greater than talent every year. So I think that if we can encompass that in our team, you know, the will to win, regardless of who's on the other side of the net, and get them competing and just wanting it and earning it, I think that, you know, we can do a lot of great things.
They did a lot of great things last year, but that was last year. The Iowa Western volleyball program doesn't rebuild, it reloads. The 2015 season is here. Ready, aim, now, is it me or there's not a lot of home matches this season? The annual Reaver Classic, Northeast, Central, then the Reaver Festival, Marshalltown, and mark this one down, Indian Hills, Tuesday, October 13th. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but the Hills has gotten a lot better lately. Finally, Sophomore Day against Johnson County, expecting another banner season for the Iowa Western volleyball team. Now it's time for our Play of the Week, brought to you by Buena Vista University. In honor of the upcoming football season, and with no games of any kind this past week, I thought I'd take us back to an historic day last year. Scott Strohmeyer walks off Saturday with a record breaker. Zach Martin steps in for an injured Tay Bender, and all the redshirt freshman quarterback does, throws a school record 6 touchdown passes. Iowa Western waxes DuPage. QB Zach Martin with our play or plays of the week. The Play of the Week is brought to you by Buena Vista University. Earn your bachelor's with face-to-face classes right here in Council Bluffs. And so that's it for 3 weeks. We kick off our year in sports with our annual high school football preview show Tuesday, August 25th. And I'll give you a hint. We're not going to be doing it from here in our BSZ studios. You're going to love it. That's Tuesday, August 25th for our annual high school football extravaganza. Now, remember, as always, to keep it here for more news and information in your community by tuning in to the Council Bluffs News with Zach Harper-Blunt. And so, for this latest edition of the Bluff Sports Zone, I'm J.J. Davis, and as always, well, at least this time anyway, I'll see you in 3 weeks.